Well, welcome back to the Villa Generals. It's been a bit of a break on my fault, really. I've been suffering from COVID, then I decided to take a little holiday. T's been giving me a kicking in the background, so we thought we'd jump straight back in with a special, really, with Ash, as it's still transfer silly season. But I just thought we'd explain that we are back now, and obviously due to sort of work commitments and one thing and another, it might not always be the three of us, but sort of we are going to sort of start to ramp up our content again. So apologies for all those who've been asking, but we are back and we're here to stay. So without further ado, Ash, thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. And
massive thanks.
Yeah, we really appreciate sort of bridging the gap as well, because obviously we've been away for a bit, so it's not nice to get someone on that can maybe give us a bit more inside knowledge than we've got. So yeah, a bit about yourself, mate.
Yeah, Sam, thanks for having me. I love doing these. I'm a Villa fan myself, so yeah, Sam, in your shoes. Still pinch myself. I'm in this job, to be fair, Drew, and yeah, living the dream, as it were. I've been to all the games in pre-season. Been a big hype around Villa, haven't I? They spent big again, and it fell flat on Saturday. A little bit of Watford, I think, pre-season. We'll discuss that later. That's had a big effect on them. Big changes behind the scenes as well. We'll go into, but yeah, I've been in the gig now. It's my third season, funnily enough, so I'm still a puppy covering the Villa. Third season. I've jumped on the bandwagon when they just got up, so quite lucky in that respect. I missed out on the Tony Zir years and the Paul Lamberts and all that.
I don't know if that is a miss out, actually. I think that'd be some
lucky charm.
Surely there'd be some stories with the Tony era.
Oh, mate, I missed all that, yeah. I missed all the craziness. But yeah, third season now, and yeah, 17th last year, and then 11th, and hopefully they can go a bit better this season, mate.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, from the face of it, I always think that anyone who gets to talk about Villa and gets a free ticket to the games is in the dream job for me. And
100%.
But then I also see some of the other reporters who do report on Villa, and unfortunately, unless you're tweeting what people want to hear,
mate, yeah.
the stick ain't worth it sometimes.
Oh, mate, and I'm telling you,
so,
you get a fair bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine, but at the end of the day, you know that next Saturday you've got a free ticket, so who cares? you're the real winner,
just
mate.
wave at them.
Yeah.
But listen, I don't think it'd be right to start off without sort of kicking off with the Grealish saga. It was
straight into it then.
Yeah, I mean, this is the sort of stuff that we do, mate. We just three lads who love the Villa. We got no skills in front of the camera. We just like talking Villa. So let's jump straight in and let's talk about Grealish.
Yeah, Grealish. Yeah, it was all his decision, wasn't it? Really, the way it played out. Villa kept the cards close to the chest. No one knew about this release clause. Obviously, there was rumours about it. I think Dean Smith batted it away at one stage. We asked him about it last season. He said, no, I don't know anything about it. So very cloak and dagger. And then fair play to Purslow. He came out exactly the song Grealish signed and said, this is what happened. Yeah, I was probably the only journo to hold on to the fact I think Grealish will stay here. I think I spoke to members of his family. They were quite confident at the time. They were quite split. His agent wanted him to go. His agent sold him the big dream, the big golden boy dream at City, and he took it. And I think he took it last season. He's always wanted this, hasn't he? So shame how it all ended. But yeah, I think he wanted it from day one. He wants the bright lights. He wants the Champions League. He keeps going on about that. Just a shame he's left it when Villa are on the upward curve. You know what I mean? Yeah. That leaves a bit of a bitter taste, given the he signed his 5-year deal last September. I know contracts mean nothing. Yeah. But he put that clause in for a reason, didn't he, Drew? He really did. So that's a stinger for me. But yeah, I think wish him all the best.
I think that's kind of from our point of view. I think that's what it is. You know, there's all good and well signing the contract, but it's the comments he come out with that he believes in the project. When you've got to say stuff like that, you're the club captain, and you know, I do believe that an element of him was thinking we could get Europe this year, and that might be enough to then push on champs next. And but we've heard it so many times now with Delph, and you know, the worrying thing for me, not necessarily with just Jack, but in the modern day footballer, that if you can't keep someone who's been at the club for 6 years, from the age of 6 years of age, boyhood Villa fan, bangs on nearly after every game how much he loves the club, loves the place, loves Birmingham, and you still can't do enough to keep that sort of it. You know, I was talking to my mates earlier about it, and sort of the price tags of just. I'm not saying Grealish is running the mill, but some of the prices that players are going now. What do you think the future looks like, that Ash? In terms of, do you think players will be reluctant to sign bigger contracts because the prices can't just be like standard, let's chuck another 20 million at an average player, can it?
Yeah. No, I mean, going back to your point about Grealish, I think that Grealish, the kid who used to go down the Villa, the kid in the Villa tracksuits, I think he's long gone. I think he's been at the club now. It's like his dad. You're not you in sales for 20 years. Do you know what I mean? He's not that involved in it as much as you are when you first started. I think it's all about Grealish, the brand now. He's got his fashion range, doing bits and that respect. So he's moved on from that. And then regarding what you're saying there, I think Harry Kane's in the pick at the moment, isn't he? He hasn't got a release clause in his contract, and I think that's the way forward for players now. They'll have release clauses. I think they weren't really common over the last few years, but they're coming back into it now, especially in the English game. I think Kane's unstuck now with that. He signed a long-term deal, and but Grealish the one put it into his. But in terms of future, I think like the young kids coming through. Say if Jacob Ramsey bursts on the scene, I think it all depends how the club goes, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? So that boyhood fan who comes a player, they're long gone now. It's their job to play now. They don't really care, to be fair. That's how I'm feeling about it.
I think you're right. I think exactly what you've just said. It's Jack Grealish, the brand now, and you can start to see that even through his Instagram posts, it seems a bit more commercial already, doesn't it? It's already there's no sort of innocence behind it anymore. If I catch him in an interview with a Manc accent, that's me. I'm done with him. but you're right. I think it's all
sanitized, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. And all this of having sort of social media teams and all this, that, and the other. And like you say, effectively, he's going to be the modern day Beckham. Do you know what I mean?
Said that, yeah.
So, but we'll move on from Jack because I think the wounds are just starting to heal. So I don't want to bat on too much about it. So let's move on to sort of here and now, the pre-season. What do you make of it? Disruptions and games being cancelled left, right, and centre. What do you make of it all?
Yeah, I think he's put Villa on the back foot from day one. They might struggle this weekend at Newcastle. Because of it, I think the players have played together, have they? Bailey had 0 minutes over pre-season. He played for Jamaica in the Gold Cup. He's been in quarantine, but he did really well at Watford.
Yeah.
Buendia picked up an injury as well. And Ings hasn't played together with Buendia and Bailey and whatnot. So Bertrand Troy being injured now as well. And the cancelled games. And
is that confirmed? Is it Ash?
The club are playing silly bugs with me. The club aren't confirming anything until Dean Smith's press conference Friday. So we'll get more clarity then. Obviously, the outlet that reported it over the weekend, they reported on his groin operation in June, so they've got a history with Bertrand anyway. So I suspect it is true. We'll get confirmation on Friday. But yeah, it's been a bit of a disruptive pre-season. I know a lot of clubs have had that as well, but it really feels like with Villa, with 2 backroom staff going as well. Dean Smith, all hands on now as well at the games. He's getting involved in the warm-ups and whatnot. So yeah, they're a man short in that respect. I think they're interviewing at the moment for a new assistant. They're going to go European, I believe. So, yeah, they're having a shake-up in the back room and on the pitch as well. It'll take time to gel, won't it? New players, new style of football. He's going with the 2 up front. It's looking like this season. Ings off Watkins, and it's going to take time. So, hasn't been the best preparation, but I think the fixtures are kind. Newcastle and Brentford. Pick up a win or 2 there, and then settle in. Got the international break then, and then we'll kick on after that, I think. But yeah, pre-season, hasn't been the best, but we've got to roll with it now, haven't we?
I think it's been a complete nightmare.
Yeah, it has.
The Jack Grealish thing, I've kept quiet on. I don't particularly want to say what I think. I say because, like Ash, I heard the same. People close to him, he was staying. Anyway, I think about Jack Grealish. If I come on about Jack Grealish, I'll lose the plot about it. But back to Saturday. I was there Saturday with the lads, and it was brilliant. It was emotional at the beginning because we're all back together. But the game was atrocious, Ash. I'm sorry, but the game was absolutely woeful that first half. And I was probably far to say probably the worst I've seen us play under Smith's regime. And it's just been one thing after another pre-season, isn't it? It's just we always seem to, we need that other player, or we always miss that other player. Oh, now we need a DM, or like last season we needed a striker. And I'm just getting a bit narky with it. And this Newcastle game now was second game in. It feels like a big game of season already, with a full house. When we should be getting behind a team, which the majority of us will, but just needs us to start like we started the first 10 minutes against Watford, it's going to be toxic, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it'll be toxic because fans.
Yeah, I think we had this chat off air, T, and we said that almost you'd prefer to play the top 6 because it's a free hit. Let them bed in, let them run hard. If you lose, you lose. You're not, probably not, but you lose to Watford and you lose to Newcastle. That rot can sit. That rot can really start to set in, and that's my worry really because, let's for instance say he risks it and puts Bailey in, knowing that he's not probably 100% match fit, and we have another performance like we did at Norwich. Fans start to get on his back. Fans start to get on Bendia's back if he doesn't perform again. There's talk that Watkins is back. I think that's huge for us. Watkins being back, because we are a team now that press from the front, and he was Villa, what Villa were all about, and I've been banging on about this.
Ash, didn't he actually say Smith they missed Watkins pressing on the back line?
Yeah, he said the Watford centre halves wouldn't have had time they had today if Watkins was playing. So a bit of a dig at Ings and perhaps the forward players there. Give Watford too much time on the ball, the centre halves, and he went on it after the game. Said we really miss Watkins. He's what we're all about. Missed that press up front, no intensity, no nothing. So he sets the tone, doesn't he, Watkins? So he's a massive miss. But
what I mean,
he gets injured.
So where does Ings play then?
Exactly.
What do you make of that signing, Ash? Because I'll give you my opinion on it.
Go on.
It feels to me like shit. Today's the day that Jack's going. We need to soften the blow. And now we've built a squad over 4 years to play in a 4-3-3. And now all of a sudden, the day before the season starts, we go into a 4-4-2 that I think we've been banging on for a defensive mid. I think are a big midfield enforcer, probably for 3 windows. We haven't addressed it again this window, and now more than ever we need it. If we're going to put 4 in there, at 4-4-2, there is absolutely no. I've been racking my brain into thinking who's you going to put in there. I know we haven't seen Santon at his best, but I do not know what players fit that 4-4-2 currently.
We look so unbalanced Saturday. And Stoke away looks so unbalanced. It's scary. We got a brand new number 10 in that team, and like Ash was there as well. And you could see if you were there, he was punching the ground. He was just so frustrating. I've never seen a player who's so frustrated. So frustrating. Nothing was working for him, mate.
But Wendy's not a number 10. This is the thing. Like, he was bought. He's played all of his career like on the left or the right, floating. So he kind of comes in and evades and sort of across the back 4 and doesn't get picked up. If he's in that number 10, he gets picked up, and that's why he's not been effective in the number 10. For my understanding is that why would you go and spend 40 million on a player out of position, then go and spend 30 million on Ings when it doesn't fit our formation, when we're crying out for someone, and I know he's the name on everyone's lips at the minute, in James Ward-Prowse. And if it's true that 50 million is his price tag, I would much, much prefer to have not spent on Ings and gone and got James Ward-Prowse. Personally, if that's what he's going to go and do, play 4-4-2, Ings for me feels like a panic buy. It really does.
Yeah, Tom will tell Drew with that. I think you bang on with your assessments there. It's still early days, but what you're saying there makes total sense. Yeah, soften the blowings. Yeah, I think the dressing room loved that signing. Mings and McGinn spoke about it, buzzing with that addition. So that went down well with the camp. So that lifted the mood, like you say. Grealish going. What do we do now? And just how it all come out the blue, wasn't it? I think Villa made contact on the Sunday, so very late. It wasn't like a rumour with any of the news outlets had. I mean, we had Tammy all summer and whatnot, and then I was told no strikers coming. Going to have a look at Wesley and Watkins and go with that. But yeah, really bad. And we'll find out. Yeah, but there's not many decent central midfielders in playing the 2. Ward-Prowse can be Southampton. There's not many teams play with the 2s. I know Burnley play there. But they play a different. They play the long
Brighton
long
as well. Basuma.
Yeah. Bissouma,
that's the only other one I thought of.
Yeah.
I don't particularly think a 6 foot enforcer is Smith's type of player either.
No.
And that's the trouble. And that's the thing. As fans, we can bark on about get a 6 foot enforcer, but that's not Smith's style of play. No. So we have to respect Smith for that, because he has done wonders at the club. Yeah. But we still need someone who can retain the ball. We still need someone who can tackle. And I don't know if you notice, again, back to you, Ash. I don't know if you notice, marvellous Nakamba, and the stats prove he changed his play. More progressing forward. That's not Marvellous Nakamba is not a progressing forward player. No. is hit the player hard, get the ball, and give it to someone else can break it. But it changed his style of play, which I felt sorry for Nakamba.
I did as well, big time. He tried to do it all. He was slipping Ings in with through balls.
That's not him.
No.
I thought that myself, to be fair. I mean, what's your thoughts on Tuanzebe? Because I know he has had a stint in defensive midfielder. He kind of fits the bill. He's mobile, he's fast, he's defensive, so he'll be disciplined in that area. I'm just racking my brains, mate.
I'm racking my brains as well.
Yeah. I don't see 4-4-2 as an option. The only thing I can possibly think of right now is like a 5-3-2 or whatever, and sort of Bailey has to be a wing back. That's the only. I just don't see.
I love him as a centre. He's brilliant, but Ash, I think you've said before on previous podcasts with other people, he ain't going to come here to sit on the bench, is he?
No.
So he's been told something.
He has, yeah. He promised football to play. If Conte's going to be fit, Conte ain't going to get the team, is he?
No. So then you get an unhappy player, and what does an unhappy player bring? Unhappy can. If Ings aren't going to start playing, Ings is going to be unhappy, isn't he?
Exactly. Ings would have come here if he weren't going to play. He's going to play every week, isn't he? I've seen a few 11s fans taking Ings out of the team. I think you're going to take him out of the team.
Yeah. I mean, the only other possible way I can think of it, and Smith's kind of made his bed on it, is putting Watkins back out wide left again, and then sort of sticking Bailey right, and then trying Buendia in the middle with a bit more.
That'll knock him then, Drew, won't it? That'll knock Watkins in, won't it?
It will, because it affects his England chances, and it also affects the way Villa play, because that's your press gone straight away again. I honestly, I trust our owners implicitly. It's the best owners, the best leadership I think we've ever had as a club. I just think that Ings has made us try to put a round hole into a square peg, to be honest. Yeah. Personally, I mean, I might be wrong, and we turn up and absolutely roll Newcastle over 3-0, and then we're all like, yeah, stick it up you. But and I'm more than happy for Smith to come out after the game, after a 3-0 win, and tell us, trust me, kind of thing. But
you still need to click, don't we?
I don't think they're fit enough. I asked Smith about. I said, "Is physicality an issue for you? Watford bossed you today?" He goes, "No, it's not. I think if you get the physical stats, our boys outran them today." And so that probably hints at where he's going. He wants runners in there. He wants people to be tight together. Yeah. So I can't see that hints at not getting a bruiser in. Do you know what I mean? Physical. I asked him about physicality. You got outmanned in there. He said, "No, we outran them."
But don't you think that technically then that's wrong for Smith? Because if you're not fit, right, don't put 2 in the midfield, put 3 in the midfield. Yeah. It's not rocket science, is it? If he knows the players aren't fully speed, don't put 2 in the midfield against a team that's just come up, who you know is going to kick you all over the place, who's going to be the first to the ball, which they were.
Yeah, the crowd behind them as well made a difference. I'd have made it tight, get 3 in there, control the game that way.
He had a 34-year-old, I think he's injured now for Watford, and I think it's a new signing for them. He ran the show.
Best player on the pitch, yeah. He's unreal.
Yeah. But then again, and I know I keep on banging on about this, but it's honestly, I'm losing sleep over this formation. The only other way I can think about it is that when we're attacking, we almost go in a 3, and Bailey goes further forward, and Buendia slips in there like he normally does and floats. And then when we're defending, we come in as a 4 and just make it tight. But that's like you say, that's a lot of running for the 2 wide lads. But I don't know, mate. I trust him, and it's first game into the season, and I'm sure we'll be fine. But at the minute, I want to see it working in the flesh. But I think if we go through what our business so far, so if we start with Buendia, what's your thoughts on Buendia?
Myself, it's going to take a bit of time. He's not fit yet. Had an injury in pre-season. Looked good at Warsaw. Yeah, I think me and you could look at Warsaw, Drew. But nah.
But not 2.
Yeah, not 2. No.
Centre half, mate. Centre half. So I'm not an attacking player like Drew.
Can you play defensive mid too?
Hey? I've seen you play mate. I've seen you play for Lichfield City. Enough said.
Bloody legend down there, mate. They'll roll the carpet out for me. I'm
still waiting for the free tickets to go down there and free beers and Chiller Royalty.
I'll sort you out.
All right, then,
Buendia, I think he'll come good. Big signing, wasn't he? Club record, don't forget. And Smith went all out to get him. He was the main number 1 target, even if Jack was going to stay. So we've got to have high hopes for him, haven't we? He's already had a year in the Premier League, and his stats were ridiculous last season. So it's just where to play him, isn't he? He
Yeah.
obviously played on the right for Norwich. So will he play there? But I think Smith likes him in that 10. But with Ings coming in now, could we should Buendia on the flank, starting at Newcastle? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cutting inside, and I think that's where we'll play.
What number was Bendir at Norwich?
What number?
He wasn't number 10, was he?
No,
Shirt number.
Oh, he didn't play number 10. He played.
No, but I want to say what I'm saying to you. They've given that shirt number 10 for a reason, haven't they?
Yeah, but then so did Jack. Jack played left. I think it's just. I think numbers now don't necessarily dictate your position. I think people see numbers as a bit of prestige. Like number 7's quite prestigious. Number 10's quite prestigious. I think in the middle of the park, number 8 and 6 is normally, and I think that's what it's about. It's about saying, there's the number 10. We trust in you with the number 10. Yeah. And I personally do think that we've got a gem with Buendia. I really do. But again, it just goes down to this bloody pre-season that we've had. It's just another one of the things that's been a sticking point, hasn't it? Just injury.
It'll come. I think he needs space, like you say. He got gobbled up at Watford, didn't he?
Did, yeah. And
he's getting a bit frustrated with himself. I think they bust him in there. Physicality-wise, he was quite a small geezer, isn't he? And get him out on the wing, get him some space with the ball, and he can thread through passes. We've seen that at Warsaw, didn't we? Just unreal.
From positions, you think, just play it back or whatever. He peeled. I mean, I think the two assists he got at Warsaw, and I know it's only Warsaw, bless them, but you from nowhere, you just see a goal, and it's like that's what we are going to get from him. But unfortunately, he's not fit at the moment, and we will get that. I do believe that, and it's just unfortunate he's had a bit of a setback. But moving on to Young, what's your thoughts on Ashley Young coming back?
Yes, a close quarter pre-season. Yeah, young Ashley, Dean's causing, he's smashing the fitness stats at his age, which is scary, really. But yeah, really vocal presence. I think we need him in there as much as off the pitch as well. I think I was at the Italian game, Salernitana, say that right. He was dishing out the orders there. So yeah, really good to have him in the camp. I think he's settled in really well. He can play a number of positions, can't he? And good cover. I think solid addition on a free. I don't think his wages are that high either, so it makes sense. And yeah, happy with that one. How
many positions we saying he's going to play this season then? Other than goalkeeper.
Yeah, no, he's played two already, hasn't he? So yeah, good versatile signing, that one.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's solid. I think, again, we talked about this before we sort of broke up for a few weeks, but we lose two big experienced players in Elmo and Heaton, and you got to bring it back in. And I think Ashley Young brings that in abundance. He's a winner. He's been a winner all his career, and I think he's a solid addition. Yeah, we've touched on Ings a little bit. What do you think he brings?
What did he bring? Well, goals, isn't it? That's the number one. That's why he's been signed. Goals. He's 1 in 1 already. That's a plus from Watford. He strikers off the mark. So he's trying too hard to impress at the moment, given what I've seen of him. He looked really sharp in that last friendly as well. Yeah. Right in the pocket. He took one shot at the edge of the box, just whistled wide. So totally different player to Watkins. I think Watkins want to do all the graft. I think Ings wants to pick up the scraps and just finish. Finisher, isn't it?
Can I ask you on that then, Ash? Because obviously, the friendly was the only time that them two have played together against whatever they're called, Salamenda. I don't know, mate. I don't know, mate. Leave it alone there. I think I was playing golf, so I didn't even get to stream it. But how did they play in terms of was Ings a 10 or was he? And how did that work? Because I can't. Me, I just think that Ings is a fox in the box. I just can't imagine him doing that number 10 role. How did it work? Did it not?
I was surprised when Smith come out and he's going to drop deep beyond Watkins. I thought he was up the top, fox in the box, like you say. But he dropped deep in midfield. He helped McGinn and the Canberra at the time, and he was too deep then to get back when Villa went forward. So, we've seen him at his devastating best at Villa Park when he's rattling goals left, right, and centre. So. Yeah, it's how it works. But I think Villa TV recorded a conversation they had together. He said, "I'm going to drift off you." And Watkins said, "I'll stay further forward." So that's the way it's going to play out. And
maybe that is just a bit of that's the first time they've ever played together and working it out for themselves. I think these players are used to. He's come from a 4-4-2 formation, and if that is the case, where it is 4-4-2 on paper, but again, when we defend it comes into a 4-3-3. Yeah. As long as he works and does a bit more than what Barkley did, I'm all for it. I just can't keep losing sleep over 4-4-2.
Yeah, but a 4-4-2 works if your two wide players interchange and come inside, but they didn't Saturday. They just
But
didn't.
did you notice literally one of the very first things that Bailey did? He come on, picked the ball up, drifted inside, went out to Bertie, and then he went past it, and Bertie passed, and I thought that's what we've needed from the start of the game. So I think Bailey's got that in him, and I think if Buendia is allowed to play on the wide, play out wide, I think that's what you're going to get from him, and then you're going to literally have. Let's go back to the goal that Ings scored against us at Villa Park. He was almost left wing, brought it inside. So I've got no issue with them three kind of doing that behind Watkins.
But then, Drew, it comes back to midfield then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I just hope we don't have a season like we did the first season back in the Premiership, where we forgot all about the defensive duties and we're just going flat out for it. That don't work in the Premiership. You've got to have and I've seen that a bit on Saturday, a bit of gun ho, and he seems to reverted it back a bit, and I just don't like it.
I think as well what as a team we need to get used to is that we've had to give the ball to one person in Jack and get as many people forward to support him.
But Drew, you give it to Jack, takes pressure off you straight away, doesn't it?
But what I'm going to say to you about this is now that this is where in pre-season we heard that McGinn's going to be classed more of a number 6. Maybe he wants Nakemba, Douglas and McGinn to just sit and then go, there's 4 people up there who can score goals, go and do it, and we'll sit and be disciplined and just sit in front of our back 4.
Ash, where do you see McGinn?
I like him as a 10. I do. See his goal at the weekend. I do. You have him really high. I was at Wembley for England, Scotland. He caused England all sorts of problems playing behind the 2. And I prefer him really high.
You've got some gig in you.
Yeah, drop that in, didn't I?
Yeah,
drop that in. Yeah. I agree. I see McGinn as a 10.
All day long, mate. All day he does that press from the front as well, and I just think he's limited being a 6. He can't charge down midfield. You know what I mean? He's got to stay disciplined. So I think Dean Smith.
Dean Smith never keeps him in the same position for 5 games. He changes him all the time. So as a footballer, you know yourself, you can't get used to the position, can you? Or used to the position into the team.
So what do we think's the most likely then? Do we think that after the comments we've heard, do we think that Guinea and Douglas or Marvellous are going to be the sitters and just say be disciplined, don't need to support as much as you did last season, and go and let the front 4 go and do stuff?
I'd have Douglas, Sanson and McKinn as 10.
Yeah, and droppings.
Well, that's a debate, isn't it?
This is what I just do not understand it. I just don't. I love Ings. I think he's a fantastic player, and I'm pleased he's at our club because we needed another striker. But we needed another striker that was happy to be coming in and supporting Watkins as and when. I don't think either of them two are going to be happy being dropped.
At the same time, though, Drew, we need quality strikers at the club.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally get that. And listen, it's a good headache to have. I'm looking at it on a bad side because I want a perfect 11 and I can't think of it right now, but that's what I'm not paid hundreds of thousands of pounds to do it. These guys are, and I'm sure they'll get it right. I've got a lot of trust in our backroom staff. So, and then, we'll move on to Bailey and Axel. What's your thoughts on them, Ash?
I think Bailey could be a gem, but he's been in quarantine last week when he come on for last half hour. Watford, really star of the show for me. Really bright, skin countless times, and got an assist. Picked up again really well. Yeah, no fear. I think he'll love it at Villa Park. I think he'll probably start against Newcastle.
You think?
I think so.
I think it bums off seats. I think he's really direct, goes at his man. But really fun player to watch. I think that he could be the one. Out of all the signings, he could be the one. I think
I agree.
Really high hopes for him. So really pleased with that one. And goals, assists, you name it. I think he can do it.
Looks a snip at the price, I think.
Really does, yeah.
Okay, we'll go around the table then. In terms of out of 10, what you're rating our transfer window so far?
No pressure on the local reporter there, Drew.
So far, I've got to give it an 8 or a 9. I really have. The back Dean Smith again, 100 mil. I know they got 100 million for Jack, but Dean Smith said last week they weren't going to sign Ings or Bailey if Jack was going to stay. So they shelled out £60 million there for him. I think it's a decent window. You can't ask for much more. I think there's a couple of sides that only spent more than Villa this window again. So you can't ask for really more. I think the squad's got much more depth now. Axel coming in, Ashley Young as well, adding to that. So I think it's an 8 or 9. I think the owners can't do much more, to be fair. Fans always want one more signing, don't they? And that could come don't know, in the transfer window, a surprise does pop up. James Ward-Prowse at 50 million, will they go and do that? I'm not so sure personally. Harry Winks, will that come about? We don't know, but yeah, I think I'll go with a 9. I can't fault the owners at all.
I'll give you 2 markings.
Go on.
I'll give you the squad 10 out of 10, and I'll give you the first 11 6 or 7 out of 10.
See, I'm gonna.
Squad's improved. First 11's not.
The thing of it is, you've lost your star man, and it's difficult. But I'm gonna follow suit with Ash actually, and I'm if we'd have had a full pre-season with Buendia, 4 or 5 games under his belt, Bailey full pre-season, 4 or 5 games under her belt, I tell you now, we would have done Watford 3 or 4, because that I don't think people understand how good Buendia is, and they've seen him 50% fit. Bailey 50% fit, and he absolutely tore a strip off of Cathcart. Now, like Ash has said, I think me and you could have probably done a decent job on Cathcart as well. But what I'm saying is, the players that have bought in, I genuinely have got a lot of faith in. People are forgetting that Watkins scored a lot of goals last season in his first year in the Prem. Ings is a season pro. You've got 10, 15 goals guaranteed out of him. He's already got his first. And, it's nice to actually have a Villa player stepping up for a penalty and knowing it's going to go in. And that's what I felt at Watford anyway. But I'm going to follow suit with. I'll go a 9, and a 10 would be if we could get someone like.
We are generally just one player to balance the squad, to balance the first 11. Just one player. If we
give me a name, then T, who would you want? I'm not asking anything other than what would you want.
Who do you think? Who do you think will get?
Not who you think. Who's perfect for what we need then?
I don't think he'll go for an enforcer, because I don't think that's Smith's kind of guy. We want someone who can keep the ball, and we want someone whose resale value is high, who's young, who's British, who can hit the ground running straight away. I've said from the beginning that I wouldn't mind Winks. And I would have, and sorry, I should interrupt you, mate. I wouldn't mind seeing someone like the Loftus-Cheek. I'm just thinking realistically, and not really Prowse not Prowse at 50 million, and we've got to think of financial fair play here, guys. I just think realistic targets. I think Winks is a realistic target. He's British. I think Loftus-Cheek is a realistic target.
Yeah,
and that's my thinking on it.
Ash,
yeah,
who would you like to see in there?
The green signing. I don't know. You put me on the spot there. Basuma, we've spoken about. I wouldn't be good Winks. I really like Winks. He wins the ball back and plays. He really neat and tidy footballer. That's one that can be done. He's out the picture of Tottenham, so go with T with that one. But yeah, it's just got 7 central midfielders at the club at the moment, so I think they need to ship a couple out then, if that's the case. Horahan will go. Jacob Ramsey, is he finished, or was he squad player? Then you got Sanson. What are you gonna do with him? And then you got the boy still there, Nakamba. You're gonna push him aside. Douglas Luiz.
Ash, I think you're absolutely. I think out of all the podcasts we've done, just you've knocked it right on the nail. And if fans are listening to this, we can't stockpile players. If you stockpile players, we go back to the old days where I know for a fact we had an unhappy dressing room.
Yeah.
He wants to keep a tight ship. He wants to keep everybody on the side. And we can't just keep buying midfielders here, left, right, center. Can't keep buying centre halves. And I'm with Ash. I think if Connor goes, I'll be amazed if we don't bring someone in.
Yeah.
See, I personally think Connor needs to go for himself now. Yeah. He's clearly not going to get a contract, so that one I think, regardless, Connor needs to go. He might not even get registered in the squad if he doesn't find himself something, which would be a shame because I think he's a good guy. And genuinely, I don't think there's any benefit of Jacob Ramsey staying at Villa this season because he's going to play 10 games. He needs to get himself out at a championship club now. Go and have 30 games.
Do you know what, mate? He changed it Saturday.
Yeah, no, he did. I totally agree with that.
I think we've both said on previous podcasts, I don't really get him, really.
No.
I know he's from your neck of the woods, Ash. I just don't get the guy. I don't get where he plays.
Just because he lives by him, he don't mean he's going to like.
my missus is Scott Arms, so I have to be careful. She's downstairs.
And my mum is.
There we are.
But no, me personally, and I know you're saying I don't think enforcers Smiths, but I think you can get height without it necessarily being an enforcer. And I guess my three, if I had to put three down, it'd be Basuma, Anguissa, or that Sanderberge. I think though, because all three of those players are footballers as well. Basuma does what we want him to do in terms.
But mate, I just can't. Basuma's going to be 40 million. He's got quoted 40 million to Arsenal.
I get
the
that.
Guy at Fulham's 30 million. We're not going to spend that money.
No,
mate.
I know that. But what I mean by that is, let's say that they're saying that Grealish is going to be over 3 years. So let's say we're getting 33 million a year, roughly. What's stopping Villa doing that in terms of saying to, Basuma, we'll give you 20 up front and then we'll give you 20 next year, guaranteed, like everyone else seems to be doing. It's good for their books. It's good for our books. We need to work together as well. They've got guaranteed 20 million crossing their books off next season. So that, they've already accounted for that. Do you two of you think, or Ash will probably know more than I do, do you think that the board were disappointed not getting Europe? I personally think they were. I think they were very disappointed not getting Europe and maybe even planned for Europe last season.
Oh, so giving Perslow's interviews, Perslow's tone, you can see in his voice.
You can see in the voice,
He did great on him, I think he did great. And he was in a great shape going into that, and then Jack got injured and it all fell apart. So real big opportunity missed there. Yeah.
I quite like that though, because we finished the season on a bit of a buzz. We beat Tottenham and Chelsea consecutively. Fans were like, yeah, that's a form you want to take into next season. And then you got your you got your CEO who comes out and basically says we weren't good enough, we wanted more. And I like that. That's not a club who's settling. And the ironic thing about it is, if Jack weren't injured for 2.5 months, we probably would have got Europe. He's worth 10 points, wasn't he? So
but that's back to what we said earlier in the podcast. That's so much pressure on Dino now, because if we don't beat Newcastle, we don't beat Brentford, and then we have
Norwich.
Chelsea
away, Spurs away.
No. It's Norwich, Chelsea, Everton.
But we've got those games in that short space. It's pressure on, isn't it?
No, of course it is. I mean, the thing with it is, there's no easy games in the Prem anymore, are there? There's no going here, there, and everywhere. And I think we need to get the monkey off our back on Saturday. A full house bouncing. I believe we'll do it. I think it's going to be tougher than it has been in the previous years, because I think Newcastle looked all right, actually. We need to kind of go and express ourselves and get our two main boys on the ball as much as possible and influence and get some chances in for Watkins and Ings. And I believe we'll beat them, but we're going to need the crowd and we're going to need the players pulling all together.
It went on the agenda, so let's ask Ash. Prediction, score.
I think we're doing. I said, while at Watford, I did, so listen to me for. I'll go 3-1 Villa. I think that Newcastle will equalise. I think Villa come on strong with the crowd later on. And then, I think afterwards we'll be like, we don't need a midfielder now, we're signed. I think that's the way it is, football, isn't it? We feel good factor going into Brentford then. And then Watford will be forgotten just like that, and all the doom and gloom. So need a big win, get that, and then I think it's rosy again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ash, Drew's usually bang on predictions, so go on, Drew.
Yeah. I'm going to go 2-0. I just think after the defensive display of last weekend, I don't see us conceding. I think they've got, and I'm not being disrespectful to Newcastle, I think they've got one threat. Just snub him. Just get someone on. Like, get Marvellous to sit in his pocket all game. And to be honest with you, outside of someone like Conte, I couldn't think of anyone worse than Marvellous. Follow me to the toilet. I just think the geezer he just loves tackling. He loves being around, buzzing around, and that's his game. If you let Marvellous do that rather than picking the ball up and running 50 yards, that ain't his game. And I'm thinking, but we'll learn from it. And I don't see us conceding against Newcastle.
Yeah, I think we're for a special day. 4-2 Villa.
Did you start Target after last week? Yeah.
No. He looks
I don't think he's fit, but you've got two choices, ain't you? You either keep on doing it behind scene friendlies and try and get him up to speed, or chuck him in. And the problem is, Bruce will have watched the game and gone, "Go on then, Saint Maximin, go and sit."
If you look at that starting 11, Ash, on Saturday, they've all had even niggling injuries, or they've had international. Target had a niggling injury, got a knock in training. The magic number 10 he had a knock. Watkins wasn't there. Ings has not played with us for that long. Mings has only just come back recently. I think Conte got a knock as well. Martinez is and then Cash come back from a hamstring injury near the back end of last season. So and then McGinn as well, international. So you look at that.
going to take a good month, I reckon, to see where we're at. And
I agree. And that's where I felt like, you know what, I prefer to just play the top six for the first couple of games. 3 hits, go and get yourself fit, run after them for 90 minutes.
I just don't think we've got the month, lads. I just think the way Villa fans can be, and then this is, I'll probably get pelters for this. They're going to want instant success. We've sold our superstar, Jack Grealish, 100 million. We don't. The three of us don't know if we're going to bring a player in yet. I think we'll bring a player in, but we don't know that for sure. Yeah. And then if we're 4 or 5 games in without a win, Jesus.
But we've got international as well. Don't forget. I think it's not. I don't think I'm worried about the players or performances. It's just fitness at the minute, and we'll I think we'll get minimum 4 points out of the next 2 games, and I think we go into international then have a real tough week of getting them fit, almost like a mini pre-season, and then we come out all guns blazing after that, and I'm all for it. I'm an optimistic Villa fan as it is. So
what are you saying then? One signing. I genuinely think we'll bring Winks in. I do. I know that there's a lot of smoke and there's that saying there, but I do. I mean, if it's true that he's unfollowed his own club on socials, and I think it's no secret we were interested in. I think it was Percy who tweeted it, wasn't it? So he don't get much wrong. He don't miss much. So if that's the case and he's available, make a prediction.
I think Winks probably. I think one. Connor will go out. I think I'll bring one in.
Yeah, I agree.
And that'll be done.
I genuinely think that takes us to a 10 for the window, because I think he's not got the name of Ward-Prowse because he doesn't take free kicks and penalties. He does as good a job as James Ward-Prowse, just without the set pieces, in my opinion.
I think Dean Smith wants British anyway. He's one that adaptation.
Yeah,
he's got, you know what I mean. So that's the key. I think it would be British anyway.
Right. Okay. What do you think the impact of the set piece coach can have? I know that Bailey is touted as being unbelievable on set pieces.
Yeah, I've seen his free against Bayern. Yeah, on his whole lot reel. Yeah, left-footed Bailey. I think it'll be over a few of them. Yeah, Austin McPhee, bit of a funny character. He's been present at 3 world disasters.
I know. I saw that.
Unreal. But
I know somebody got coached by him. I won't name the player on air, but as a mate of mine, as a professional footballer, and he's a lad, but he's got a streak. Like, yeah.
I've heard. I was speaking to the guys up at Hearts, and I said he's got a streak in him as well. So I've seen him with close quarters of games. He's got his iPad out. He's always speaking to the players on what to do. So we'll see if it benefits Villa.
I thought we brought Thor in. I did. I kept on seeing him in the training pitch. I was thinking, have we brought Bjornsson back or what?
No, you wouldn't say it to his face, to be honest with you.
No, I wouldn't. No. Well, I'm half Scottish, mate, so I might get away with it a bit. But no, I think it's something that, again, that we've been crying out for a long time, and something I noticed again, something with Bailey that, again, I watch Villa. I'm a bit of an obsessant, but just the way that I saw him crossing the ball, it was just so much flatter, and pace was all on the ball, and it just needed a nick. And I think they're the sort of balls that Watkins and Ings, and we haven't had that since probably Ashley Young. We haven't had that sort of someone who will get the ball and put it into those sort of areas, flat, fizz. And that's how he takes his free kicks, for anyone who hasn't watched him. And I think he's going to be like a major asset to us.
I mean, I went back to the pub after 3-0. To admit it, and I watched it after Bailey's crossing. Quite clever crossing. It was in between like the defender where you can't really do anything with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think and I think we've now got a player that absolutely he's got a season ticket in those sort of areas, and that's what he's made a career out of.
And where was McGinn for the goal? Number 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Super John McGinn. And I think, do you know what? He's had a bit of stick in McGinn because of it. He's been out of position for a long time, and he's had to try and learn on the job. And I think fair play to him.
That is fantastic.
Right, okay. We always do it, Ash, with everyone who comes on. All-time Villa 11.
Now I'll be looking forward to this.
Caught me cold. I totally forgot about this. I haven't done no press after cup.
So we've got Andy Coleman. Who we got? Nyland in goals. I'll be looking forward to this, mate. Come on.
Off the cuff, then I go Bozzy in goal. I'll go right back. I'll go start left back. I'll go Alan right left back. I'll go centre half. Right. I'll go Hugo, and I'll go Larson. Right back, I'll go.
Anyone who don't say McGrath, I just see T's face.
Whoa. Who's going? No, McGrath.
Never seen him play.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm the same.
Born in 90, so yeah, one of them, ain't it? Right back. He's like Fernando Nelson. Right back.
Yeah, I'm not Fernando Nelson.
Right back, man.
Delaney.
Yeah, Delaney was solid, wasn't he? Unreal. I don't want to put Malbog there. He's more of a centre half, so
He was, yeah.
Good Delaney right back, yeah. He's always a 7 out of 10 winner.
Mm.
And then midfield, I'll go 4-3-3. I'll go midfield. I'll go Gareth Barry all day long. I'll go Paul Merson in there, and I'll go. Which else got in there? I'll go. Put you on the spot here, mate.
I know, it's icing it. It's in the local report on the spot. You can go 4-4-2 if you want, mate.
Barry and Merce. Then on the wings, I've got to be Ashley Young on the left. And then on the right, I'm missing Grealish, you know, really.
Oh, he's out of sight.
No, he's out of sight. Grealish is
Forget
gone. Oh, yeah.
Ash was a bloke on Twitter burning his shirt.
Ashley, Jack's gone. He's
Yeah.
gone. He didn't believe in his 5-year plan, did he? You believed it for 5 minutes plan, so he can sod right off out of my legendary team.
Nah, he's in mine, mate. He's in mine.
Nah.
Right winger. Who you had there, lads? Help me out.
So I couldn't have my team without Milner in, to be fair. But I'm the same here as you. I'm 92, so my team's not far off you. I think I had Milner. Ian Taylor was in there. I had Ashley Young on the right, and I had Grealish on the left.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, I was Mark Walters and team of people like that.
He was my coach at Villa.
Yeah, like Mark Walters.
I'll bang a young and skinny Gabby on the right then, and then I'm going up to the top. I'll go Dwight York off
all day long.
Benteke.
Have you got a poster on your wall? Are you reminding yourself of some players there?
That's just a player on that. Yeah.
It's just be our luck. His phone's ringing like hell. I've been signing Harry Winks.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty solid team, mate. I think.
The only one for me, I never really liked Alan Wright.
Yeah.
I was more with Boomer or Stevie Staunton.
Stan, yeah, I'd have had him. Yeah, one of them too. Boomer, he'd be injury prone, wouldn't he? I like Alan Wright. I did 7 out of 10 every week.
You remember that final injury for Boomer though? That was a shock.
Horrendous.
I always think it would have been an unbelievable player for us, Luke Nilis.
Oh yeah.
What a player we had there, man.
That goal against Chelsea.
Oh yeah.
Bash. Yeah.
There's a question. Name the game where he got injured.
Ipswich. Yeah.
Nice one. Listen, that's it, Ash. We really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, massive respect, mate.
I love it. Yeah, nice.
I know it's probably the worst time ever to try and put an hour aside for people, so we really do appreciate it, mate. And
that's fine.
We're always following you on Twitter and stuff. We don't always agree with you, but we'll let you know. So don't
You're not. That's your nice guy, though. So
yeah, we'll
let you off.
Nice one, lads. It means a lot, man.
I think you can tell you're Villa through and through, and you want it like we do as fans.
Yeah,
and
it's what the best for him. Yeah, that's it.
And that's it. And
I think people have got to realise, just backing Ash quickly. I mean, the Birmingham Mail's Birmingham Mail. You work for Birmingham Mail at the end of the day, but you are a supporter. Yeah. And we respect that.
No, that's it. Nice one. Appreciate it.
But nice one. If we ever catch you down the ground, mate, we'll grab you a pint. But it was really
or you can run.
Yeah. As I say, we really appreciate it, and as I say, we are back, guys. So please like, subscribe, and share, and get us back on the map. Thanks very much. Up the Villa.
See you later.
See ya.
Cheers later.